Blunt Talk with LT episode 54. This episode's brought to you by StackGwop.com. StackGwop.com/shop. Shop for your SGE apparel and merch. This episode's also brought to you by Anchor. Anchor.fm. Start the podcast, host the podcast, share your podcast, monetize your podcast, get cash for your podcast. Anchor.fm. Okay, so back to the old set almost. Kind of. Light backdrop. Trying something new again. Something old again. New. Whatever. Alright, so the first topic I'm gonna get into today, this shit's kinda weird for me. Or to me. The Tinfoil Hat podcast hosted by Sam Tripoli has been deleted from YouTube. His channel has been deleted from YouTube. And it was deleted by YouTube. And I don't know if anybody knows what Tinfoil Hat podcast is, but it's more of like a conspiracy theorist type of podcast hosted by comedian Sam Tripoli and conspiracy theorist. He pretty much, for me, I was thinking, okay, I don't know why YouTube's deleting channels, but there's new terms and agreements and a whole bunch of shit going on with YouTube. But I don't think this one was content-based because he recently dropped an episode explaining, but it wasn't on YouTube because his YouTube channel's taken down. But he was explaining that it was from one of his sponsors. And it wasn't a YouTube sponsor. It was one of his ad sponsors for his podcast that he reads on YouTube. But the problem with the sponsor was that YouTube was trying to say that he was selling prescription pills or prescription medication or medication without a prescription type of thing, or promoting that type of shit. But really and truly, it is Blue Chew. Blue Chew is like a dick pill. It's like a chewable Viagra or whatever, and it's like sponsors of a lot of podcasts. So I heard that and I'm like, fuck, Blue Chew. A lot of podcasts are at risk if Blue Chew's getting people. Like for me, it's like his account was taken off YouTube completely, no strikes. So it's not like you have to have strikes to completely remove your account. If YouTube doesn't feel that it's commercially viable, or they have their own feelings and feel that you went against their policy, they could completely take away your channel completely. And that's one of his revenue streams. So that is, if you're a YouTube creator or a small YouTube creator, you're building towards your monetization, and then some shit like that happens because your content or your ads or your sponsors don't agree with, like, for me, this is it's complicated because you're just doing a sponsor read. It's not even like it was his content. It's not even like it was a conspiracy theory that they were just trying to block, because channels like Alex Jones' channel has been taken down before, and everybody's just like, oh, it's just Alex Jones, he's a crazy person. But it's like, when it starts happening to other people, it could happen to you, and you start seeing a trickle effect if they don't agree with your shit. And it's like, for that reason, you have to have backup incomes if you're just one of these small creators or any type of entertainer on YouTube. And it's like, it's getting tricky out here. I hear that shit, and it's like, I have content that is not conspiracy theory. Not much ads to disagree with yet, but the content itself is kind of free speech, blunt talk. That's why it's called Blunt Talk with LT. It's really just open talk, so it can go anywhere. That's why it concerns me a little bit, because the talk can go anywhere. I don't know where the fuck the talk's going to go. It's not going to go to an ignorant place of hate, but at the same time, it can go into plenty different directions, just speaking on certain topics and having debates and discussions on topics. So I worry about that as a small YouTuber. All right, so let's get to the next topic, because I'm not going to spend the whole episode talking about the Tinfoil Hat podcast being deleted. I hope it gets reinstated with the views and the money, because that's bad. That's stopping people's income. So that's a problem. That's a serious problem. Okay, shit. Holy, that was an epic eyelash to the ear panel. Yo, Lamelo Ball. Oh, I don't have the video right now. I'm slack. All right, next episode. But this nigga's been dropping triple doubles. He's been going off in Australia. It's like, for me, I was thinking top 5 pick. His shooting percentage could be a little bit better, but really and truly, fuck the shooting percentage. He's starting to, they're winning games. 30-point triple-double. He's going off. Like, he's just driving. He's dunking on mans. For me, I'm almost to the point where I feel like LaMelo's better than Lonzo. Not like projecting to feel like he's better than, or he's going to be better than Lonzo. I think right now he's better than Lonzo. Just seeing the way he plays, he's way more aggressive. He finishes at the rim better. I know the competition is not the NBA, it's the NBL. But for me, I've seen him play against like elite competition for a long time. He's always been playing up. He's always been playing older people than himself. He's always been like the young kid playing with older professional basketball players. He's played with plenty of NBA players in his life. He's played in the Drew League. He's played, even in the NBL, they have former NBA players. Played in Lithuania when he was 15, 16. Right now, I think he might be better than Lonzo. Lonzo came off the bench in his last game coming off an injury. Lonzo's struggling to stay healthy. LaMelo hasn't had that injury problem. Even LiAngelo had an injury problem with his leg. But LaMelo, he got like injured for a game in Lithuania. And it was more like, did he even really want to play? They weren't going to give him much minutes. It wasn't more like, I don't know if it was like a serious injury. It was like a back injury or something. But for the most part, that could have just been a part of his growth spurt because he went from like 6'2" to 6'7" and shit. So it's like LaMelo Ball, for me, is the best in the Ball family right now. Better than Lonzo. I think that personally. I think when he gets to the NBA, he's going to take off the same way Luka did. It's not going to be struggling in the first year. I don't think his shooting percentage is going to be so high, but I don't really care about that. I feel like he's going to be a good player. And he's getting his three ball more consistent on that level, playing with those type of defenders. So it's interesting to see where LaMelo Ball's career is going to go. But right now, I think he's going to be the best, or he is the best in the Ball family. All right, moving on to other news. Joe Budden and Sin are kind of like, they have a picture kind of teasing that they could possibly be back together. But the caption had something to do with coming together for Thanos. So I'm thinking, I don't know, I think it's some reunion shit, Love and Hip Hop reunion, them taking a picture close together. It doesn't mean they're together. That's his baby mother. So I don't know if anybody should read into these rumors so hard like they're together, because you got to get sources, and, you know, the only sources is them two. So until I hear it from one of their mouths, I'm not going to just look at pictures and look at rumors and look at people having these discussions and thinking that, you know, that they're back together. But in this picture that they posted, she has a dress with running shoes on, and she's doing that whole leg thing with the, you know, like with things that girls do for the pictures, the leg thing to like plump out the butt, but she's not really on the angle to plump out the butt, but she's doing the leg thing nonetheless. Are those Forces? Air Forces? Nah. God damn, but those running shoes with the dress, I don't know what the fuck's going on there. See, I'll find something to criticize and hate on something. See them fucking shoes. Like, what the why do you have those? Oh, she's probably ready to scrap somebody. It's probably the reunion. She's probably ready for a tussle. Who the fuck knows? Love and hip-hop photo shoots, love and hip-hop scenes, all this contrived love and hip-hop storylines, and, yeah. I'm not really with love and hip-hop. Even covering it as a news thing. When you cover rumors and things that derive from love and hip-hop, it's like when you're reporting on it, you're like, yo, is this cap? Like, I'm seeing it. It's being put out there, but this is it could. It's like, the thing is, it's like it's real news. You're reporting real things, but it's like, is it even real? Is it from a real place? Is this just fiction? Is this just being acted out? And then these celebrities accepting that this is what they're putting out as their life, but really and truly they don't have any real emotional attachment to the events, and they don't really care. So it's like, at that point, it's like you're almost fake news, and you're almost reporting fake shit, although it's real, because there's no real you know what I mean? There's no real attachment. So it's like, it's almost like reporting a movie. This happened in the movie. It's like, it's not real. It's acted out. It's like the events occurred, but they're not real events. They're acted. And that's pretty much what these reality shows are doing to people in general, women, men. But when people like, what's her name? God damn it, Princess goes on her live and kind of like tries to break up with Ray J or tell the world her feelings and stuff like that. That's the type of stuff that you can look at and be like, okay, this is not really love and hip hop. storylines. This is not in front of Love and Hip Hop cameras. This shit is more real. I hope they get back together, and I hope they stay together. I hope that's not really. I hope that's just an emotional rant that she went on, and I hope Ray J is not doing the things that she said that he's doing, and the relationship's going that way. But whatever. I hope they're good. Moving on to better and more pressing news, because I'm not going to spend too much time talking about nothing. We don't do that here. New flyers have been put up for the Millenium Tour after Lil Fizz has been plucking April, and they've been trying their hardest to get a reaction out of Omarion, who seems really stoic about the entire thing and doesn't really give. He gives the impression like he doesn't give a shit. Like, that's his old work. He's over her, and she's doing whatever she wants to do. She can be happy. He can be happy. That's the approach that he's taken. Yeah, that's the approach he's taken to it. But really and truly, we don't really know what he feels. He's just really. Vlad said when he interviewed him that he's the best media trained person he's ever interviewed of all his years interviewing. He's the most media trained. So Vlad was trying to get a reaction from him. Clearly, he couldn't get any type of reaction from him. And yeah, so pretty much the flyers. I'm gonna post the fucking flyers right now. The Millenium Tour. It's Omarion and Bow Wow now. They took out the whole B2K. They were complaining on Love and Hip Hop that, Lil Fizz's action is stopping the bag and they're not taking the tour overseas and blah, 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 because months ago they were on the tour and they were doing shit. Although Fizz was doing shit with April, Omarion was still doing the tour with them. He's being professional. Raz B had his little moment where he wanted to drop out the tour. Omarion reeled him back in, kept the professionalism up, kept the tour up. None of this shit is Omarion's fault. When it comes to keeping the money, keeping the tour up, keeping the shit up to date, he gave B2K their chance pretty much. But it's like, at the end of the day, Omarion has way more. For me, personally, from what I think Omarion has way more hits and way more like songs beyond B2K. Yeah, B2K had their run. B2K has their hits. But Omarion had a long run after B2K and a bunch of hits. So it's like he can take his hits, go on tour with Bow Wow and Dumb. He has Pretty Ricky. Who else on this shit? Soulja Boy's on this shit. Lloyd, Sammy. That's like a whole era that took place like just after the B2K era, and it doesn't really need to include B2K. So I think that was very cunning of Omarion to take his talents elsewhere and continue the tour and not have to be bothered with, this whole Love and Hip Hop shit and April and Fizz making a mess of his life. And that's why he kept saying they need to change the narrative, because they do need to change the narrative. Because if you're happy and then you guys found a situation that was good for you, then just be happy. We don't need to bring Omarion into your situation. You don't got to talk about how he feels and that type of shit, because you guys are doing your own thing. And for the most part, the public's not rocking with the relationship. I haven't seen anybody really stand up and be like, yo, love is love, yo. Let them love, let them live. You find who you find. I haven't heard anybody say that type of bullshit. So it's like, you know what I mean? Nobody's really fucking with their shit, because it is kind of weird. And then him try to deny the fact that they were cool for years. It's like he tried to say they were never boys, they were never niggas like that. They were just bandmates and work buddies and all that bullshit. So, he misrepresented the shit, although there's plenty of evidence to show that they were cooler than what he tried to represent it as. Fizz, I'm talking about, because Fizz was trying to save face. But nonetheless, you just cropped yourself out of a bag. So that's what happens when you make those type of decisions. What else do we got here? Shit, let me pull this shit back up. Okay. Let's move into a little bit of sports talks. Charles Barkley apologizes for domestic violence joke to reporter. That's the way this is framed. Really and truly, he said he wouldn't hit women, but he would hit her because she was annoying or something, and he was just making a joke. And then after he said she couldn't take a joke, and then, they went a certain way and she was making it a bigger deal, he apologized after, saying, he apologizes for his actions and he didn't mean to offend anybody and blah, blah, blah. Standard apology for those type of incidents because you hold a certain position in media. I think that girl just needed to take a joke. I feel like he wasn't really saying anything offensive. If you can't say that type of shit and you have to apologize for that type of shit, what the fuck type of world we living in? But censorship and things that don't, they're always the people that pay the money for the entertainment always have to worry about their ads and their sponsors, and they're constantly trying to have clean entertainment. So anything that goes against, making it fully clean, or anything that gives a discussion of, oh, you're wrong, or you're being violent, or you're promoting a certain type of thing, they will lash out against. So I understand his position to apologize, but really and truly, I don't feel like the girl should have made a big deal out of it. She should have just moved on. Who cares? Just accept that you're annoying. You don't have to make it a bigger deal. Make it seem like it's something bigger, some domestic violence thing, some men terrorizing women thing. It's like, no, you're just annoying, so he said what he said, making a joke. All right, so Carmelo dropped 25 points in a Trailblazers win against the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls ain't no special ass team. They trash. They have their moments. Don't get me wrong. They have the young talent. They got their moments. But for the most part, Chicago Bulls ain't a good team right now. He made statements like he ain't retiring at the end of the season. This ain't no farewell tour. He's happy that he's in the starting lineup. He's kind of feeling himself. He probably feels like he's old Melo. But really and truly, he looked good in that 25-point game. He looked decent since he came back, to be honest. He hasn't been looking like a piece of shit. But for me, I would rather him try to find the bench role, because if he wants to survive in this league, he can't play 82 games the way he played against the Bulls. When he plays against real defenses, you see what happens to him. It's like, I think Portland's in a position that they need Melo. They're a trash team right now. I don't know what the fuck happened to their chemistry. I don't know what happened to their front court. Their depth isn't the same. They're just not hanging with the rest of the teams. CJ McCollum is still CJ McCollum. Damian Lillard is still Damian Lillard, but they're having those type of problems. But if Melo thinks that he's going to be one of the major parts of their offense, then he needs to just relax and try to put up 15 off the bench. But no, he's starting, so they're putting him in the role. They're feeding him that type of energy, really and truly. But really and truly, they're 1-3 since he's came back. One good game. I feel like he needs to calm with those comments, because that's the type of shit that got him kicked out of the league in the first place. Well, not kicked out of the league, but teams they held themselves back from signing him because they felt like his attitude wouldn't be the greatest if they put him in a different type of role. So I think he needs to take the Vince Carter route. Be happy that you're in your 17th year, and kind of just play your role. You're not everybody's going to be in their 17th year and be the best in the league like LeBron James. It's not going to happen. Yeah, by the way, LeBron's still the best in the league. So anybody screaming Giannis or James Harden or anybody else, Kawhi, but people haven't been saying Kawhi recently because his stats have dropped severely, and the load management shit doesn't really help his case. Paul George looks good on that team. The Clippers look really good. They're going to be a very hard team to stop. But yeah, let's stay on topic here. What the fuck was the topic here? God damn it. Okay, so let's get to this newest report on Floyd Mayweather announcing a return to boxing in 2020. I don't recommend it. For me, Floyd Mayweather is my favorite boxer of all time. I think he is the greatest boxer of all time, so I'm going to get to that on the GOAT list shortly. But you're like 40s. How many years old is Floyd? He's 40-something years old. If you're going to be fighting the best of the best in the weight in the conference, I feel like certain boxers just need to know when to hang it up. Someone like Andre Ward, who went out, said he's retiring, not coming back, got plenty of good opportunities to come back and get some pretty big fights, and never came back, knew that he was retired, has all his facilities in order, can talk well, no CTE warnings or any type of signs of that. So it's like, I don't know why Floyd can't do the same. I don't know why he can't just walk away. I don't know if it's the attention that he wants every time. It's the money, because he has so much, close to $1 billion. It's like you can make so much money doing other shit. Like you can be an investor. You can, start several different businesses, which he has several different businesses. So it's like the boxing money's obviously going to be bigger, quicker. But it's like, do you want that type of damage to yourself in the long term? Do you want to risk your perfect record? I know Floyd is the greatest boxer of all time, and he's the best defensive fighter by a mile, and it's like, he has that confidence, but it's like, Father Time is undefeated. You're gonna start declining. There's gonna be people that are in there. Like, you wouldn't want to fight Canelo again. I know Canelo moved up several weight classes and been killing everybody and moving up. So it's like, but if he comes back down to fight Floyd, they fight at a good, like, 150 something. They get one of those compromising weights. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't recommend it. I don't know who's out there for him to fight. I don't think he wants to fight Pacquiao again. I know Pacquiao won a championship, so he might trying to go for his belt, but it's like a Pacquiao rematch with Pacquiao's labrum intact. I don't know how much money people are willing to spend for that, especially Floyd Mayweather being out for so long. I don't recommend it. I feel like dude should just retire. Being a big Floyd Mayweather fan, getting him on this GOAT list, like, I believe he's the best boxer of all time, 50 professional fights. I've seen every single one of the Floyd Mayweather's fights, 27 knockouts. Even his because he hasn't fought 50 opponents. He's fought in, like, what, 47? Because he has 2 rematches. He has the Maidana rematch, and then he has the Luis Castillo rematch. Who else did he rematch? I think that's it. And then the Conor McGregor fight, which is like, is his debut as a professional boxer. So it's like 49-0 almost. I think he wants to get rid of that asterisk to have that full 50-0, because it's 50-0, but yeah, you fought Conor McGregor. He should just retire, man. Greatest boxer of all time, best defensive fighter of all time. He hits at a very high percentage. He gets hit at the lowest percentage in boxing history. So it's like, just take that. He only's been, like, rocked, like, serious haymakers, like, 3 or 4 times in his career. He's still able to speak. Like, I know certain family members of his have certain speaking problems because of the boxing for years. Like, his father doesn't speak as fluid and as well as he does. But it's like, that's what happens when you get hit in the head so many times for so long. It's like, I feel like Floyd Mayweather Jr. should just stay retired and just, don't tarnish his legacy. Don't go too far out of the box to try to tarnish your legacy. Because if you keep going and you keep going, one day eventually someone's going to come and stop him. That's how I feel. Oh, shout out to Iman Shumpert. Iman Shumpert, this is random. I just switched topics in a second. Iman Shumpert, signed to the Nets. I don't know if he's played a game yet with the Nets, but I'm just happy because I was looking at the roster, the amount of people that were left off an NBA roster. And I'm like, there's a lot of young legs left off a roster. So the fact that Iman Shumpert's back on the fucking roster, I'm like, that's good. People were so concerned about Carmelo. Carmelo spent 17 years in the league, or 16 years in the league prior to this season. So I was more concerned about, the younger folks like Iman Shumpert. Happy that he, signed a new contract. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this episode. Not too much to discuss in this episode. I have a big article or a big report that I want to, I'm pretty much first to. Like, I've heard little ramblings about it, but it's not like a huge report. I want to really get all the details in, so I'm not going to report on it now until I get all the details. Trying to be a little more complete and thorough with my reporting on this channel. Double source, get all the facts, the background, everything before I drop serious news, and it's probably going to drop tomorrow, so stay tuned to that. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, Blunt Talk with LT. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, Stack Gwop. And, before I get out of here, let me talk about this Kaepernick situation, because there's new information that's been brought to light since the last time I spoke about the Kaepernick situation. So it's a good thing that I left it to last. So, Colin Kaepernick. The initial waiver that the NFL presented him was okay. So this is a strike against the NFL. This wasn't the normal waiver that they give players, the standard waiver that they give players on Tuesday when they bring players to work out, and there's constantly players trying out for teams in the NFL. His workout was Saturday, which is a little irregular, but it's clearly a special type of case, because there was word from the NFL and certain reporters that Jay-Z had conversations with Roger Goodell to bring in Colin Kaepernick for these workouts. So Jay-Z had some inner working. So anybody that wanted to talk shit about Jay-Z making money with the NFL and getting mad at Jay-Z for his employment with the NFL, well, not even employment, but his position with the NFL and his partnership, needed to, chill on that because he was clearly working for the right causes. So when it comes to that, he was working on Colin Kaepernick getting back into the NFL. Colin Kaepernick didn't want to sign, and him and his team didn't want to sign the initial waiver because there was some wording in there that he wouldn't be able to sue and continue to pursue his case against the NFL, his blackball case, because he's clearly been blackballed. They settled for his back payments initially. So basically, if he signed that waiver, anything going forward, he wouldn't be able to sue for. So that waiver was kind of like a trap for Colin Kaepernick. But it was kind of like a trap, as in we want to get into. I feel like from the NFL's perspective, it's like, okay, you're not. We want to get into business with you. We want to give you another chance in our league, but we don't want to have to deal with no legal issues with you suing us. We don't want to have to deal with any type of loss of revenue because of the type of antics that you may present a team or whatever. For me, I don't understand their whole antics situation. I don't like. What is he gonna do? Go out there and raise awareness to black issues? I don't even understand the problem with that. I don't even think that will cause revenue problems. He can't take a knee because of the new rules. So I don't know what they really think he can do if he gets in, but whatever. The main fact is I feel like it's more of like a war. It's more of a legal war more than I'm trying to get back in the league type of shit, because Colin Kaepernick, if he really wanted to be just like an employee, because really and truly, if you're an employee for any other job or any other industry, you really go into a job interview and you kind of capitulate to whatever the fuck they want in that interview to try to get that job because you want a job in that organization. If you're in any field in life, if you're listening to this right now and you think of your job, you didn't go in and start demanding the field or be like, okay, I want to interview at this time or this place, or setting the terms and then you get your way. It doesn't really work like that generally. So the NFL kind of wanted to have that power, and you can't really blame them because most businesses want that power. Colin Kaepernick, if he just showed up to the workout in front of all the 25 teams instead of the 8 teams, signed the waiver, signed his rights to sue them, which is kind of another sticky thing. I can't really just say you should have signed your rights away to sue them, because it's a really sticky situation. And for me, I don't feel like if you disagree with Colin Kaepernick, you disagree with his approach, you disagree with the way he handled the NFL, I don't feel like you're a sellout, or the way they're trying to say Stephen A. Smith ain't black or shit like that because he doesn't agree the way I feel like that's two separate issues. I feel like Colin Kaepernick getting in the NFL, getting a roster spot, playing quarterback for a team, backup or starting, has nothing to do with the issue of the police brutality and the issues that he raised. I don't feel like he hasn't spoke about it. He's had all year, all day, every week to go on any platform and speak more awareness or be a leader, a vocal leader, but he's a silent leader. He doesn't say anything. So it's like, I don't think the one and the other have anything to do. I think it's just a money thing. I think he just wants to play football. I think he wants to be employed by the NFL, and he wants to make millions for playing football. So if you're for that, then you support him, and you could be mad at him for the way he's handled himself, because it's like, if you want that, you should have just tried out. You should have just signed the waiver and played for those teams because you're trying to be employed by the company. And I don't think you're wrong for saying that, if you're saying that and that's your message. Because really and truly, personally, I don't think I would have handled it the way Colin Kaepernick handled it. But I'm not in that position to even say that. So it's like anybody could sit here and say that. I don't know what's going on in the insides. I feel like Stephen A. Smith has a lot more intel than a lot of people that, discredit him or say anything, because he's speaking to both sides. He's speaking to the NFL. He's speaking to Colin Kaepernick's people. So when people get at Stephen A. Smith and say he's a sellout, he's an Uncle Tom, he's this and that, it's like, well, he's privy to a little more information, so maybe his stance is a little different than yours or mine. I don't know, but for the most part, I feel like Colin Kaepernick is not going to get signed to an NFL team. I feel like this whole switching up the whole venue, switching up the time, and, showing out and having that post workout speech, I feel like none of that helped his favor. I don't think any team's going to pick him up. There's minimal teams that actually came to see him at that workout, and from what I'm hearing, they still would want to see more. So it's like, for the short term, I don't think he helped his case. I feel like it's more of like a public show, so the public could see. That's why he wanted to have the cameras there. The public could see, oh, he's not washed. He can still throw the ball. But from my personal experience in football, playing football, knowing that it's not like basketball. You can't just be the most talented person and just, dominate the games and just have that type of pull, because everybody needs to play their part. You can be the best quarterback you want. If you don't have offensive linemen blocking for you, then you're not going to get anywhere. Even if you can have the success on the offensive end like Patrick Mahomes, if your defense isn't holding up on the other side, you're not going to be able to win very many games. Although Patrick Mahomes' offense is ridiculous to the point where he's able to win those games despite his defense. I'm just saying that it's a team sport in every essence of the word team sport. Like every cog has their role in the machine. So it's like you have to, you have to get along with people. You have to have a certain message. You have to have a certain chemistry, especially at that quarterback position, being a leader. There's a lot more that goes into the game than just your actual athletic ability to throw the football. That's why a lot of teams are kind of not in on Colin Kaepernick, the backlash, the support, the fan support, the money reasons. It's like it's bigger than just talent. So for him to even do that, to try to show the public he still has talent, was pointless, because we know you can throw the football. I think he just wanted no doubters, but really and truly, if you wanted that football, if you wanted that position on a roster, you should probably have just, agreed to their terms and services. But that's it for me for this episode. Blunt Talk with LT, episode 54. Make sure y'all subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment, leave your opinion. Shortly, I'm going to start doing this segment where I read comments, because I'm starting to get enough comments on the Blunt Talk with LT page where I can start communicating back. Because when I'm getting 1-2 comments per month, I'm not going to respond to have a video where I'm talking to the comments. But now that I'm getting several comments per video, I can start responding and making videos responding to your comments. So if you guys are engaging and want to be spoken back to, or want to have a quick discussion on anything that I discuss, just leave your comments, like, subscribe, share the podcast. Blunt Talk with LT. Yeah.